a random DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sneaky, isn't
So
it?
I don't think.
Ah.
I just saw...
No, I did. I one time did a live stream where I had clients in the house and we were in our pajamas and we were telling fairly stupid, hysterical stories.
Yeah.
But I perched the live stream down on the table so that it was like cutting off half my head and it looked like he'd put it on accidentally. But we were telling really bad stories, like embarrassing. And I knew that it was on, but I was playing that it wasn't on.
Funny.
And the comments were out of control. Everybody's like, oh, I don't think she knows she's on the
Don't
live
tell
stream.
her.
Right. And then we got up and did this stupid dance and that's the whole story.
That's so
really.
funny.
It was funny.
That is very funny. So what do you want to talk about on this live stream?
Ooh. Okay.
Double.
What were we saying? Look at that stupid cut off live stream. Why do you get the good one?
Because mine is better than yours.
Fucking live stream.
Mine is better.
See, why is it? See, normally mine doesn't show up like that on my page. All right.
Well, it is now.
Okay. The good news is we look amazing, and the sweet looks amazing.
Good.
All right. Let's talk about what we talked about at lunch. When people are really successful, but they're still in doubt or uncertainty around how to brand online.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting that it's often the same mindsets that show up for someone who's literally, someone who knows how to create multi-millions of dollars versus someone that is entirely just starting out, but they go through the same fears and the same concerns and the same mindsets, right?
Exactly. Well, it's fascinating that when you see somebody who's crushing it and they're used to being successful and used to being the best, but then we start talking about kind of essentially what we do. Okay, what's up with your keys?
I know.
Sorry.
I know.
But what the
Don't
fuck-
be mean
did
to
you
them.
paint on it? Did you draw on that key?
No, it's scratched
This
off.
one looks like you've hand drawn it. What's going on there?
It's really bad. It's the E, then the T, these ones.
Is that a cigarette bag? It kind of looks
No,
like
it's my typing.
Are you serious?
It scratches it off.
Oh, maybe that's going to happen now that I've got nails. All right.
But why is it only here?
Okay, that's the most interesting thing I've seen all day.
It's so
Ooh,
funny.
Calatozo's live now. Oh, hey, Facebook.
Oh,
What's up?
Facebook.
Damn, that's a large one. That would be a Campari.
That is not wine. Hey guys, did you turn the live stream on?
No.
Yes,
Facebook
you
turned
did.
it on.
Facebook.
Facebook knew that we were going to go live. Guys, check out this amazing suite. You can get
That's
a
just
little
me.
glimpse. That's okay. Oh, come on. There you go. There's a little glimpse. There's an entire locker cabinet back there if you have a look.
My live stream can't see it. I think they're jealous.
Sorry, Regan's live stream.
Regan's live stream wants to say, hang on. I don't want to.
Thanks, Eric.
I don't want to put. Oh! Our little light. It's gone.
We're at the SLS Hotel in Beverly Hills. I just checked in here today.
back.
Fresh off the boat. I was going to say. Fresh off the boat from Australia. This is Regan's suite. My room's on the next floor up. My room is not actually as badass as this room. This suite is badass as fuck.
It's super pretty.
I was booked at a different hotel and then I got off the plane and I thought, ooh,
Oh, your food. Okay, I'll
that's
get
fine. I'll eat it after. I just dumped my other hotel, which was the W in Hollywood, and came here instead. And this hotel is amazing. It's amazing. So we just had our room service arrive. Okay, we have two really cool things that we want to talk about on our live stream. And actually, it's just an extension of our conversation from today. So grab yourself your beverage of choice and settle in for a chat. Because really we just wanted to open up our conversation that we were having behind the scenes before we accidentally put the live stream on. Ooh, Kat Latozo just joined. Kat Latozo just joined my live stream.
How is that even possible?
I don't know, but there she is.
Who's on your Facebook?
Well, it'll be one of my team on my business Facebook. But I
Right.
didn't know that my business Facebook page can join my personal live stream. Okay, let's talk about this.
All right, what are we talking about?
Go.
What? I'm sharing this. Hang on. Let me share this. I'm sharing this to my other page.
Sponsored by people at Campari. Just letting you know.
Okay, where is it?
Okay, so we were
talking about the mindsets and how they show up regardless of what level you're at in business when you step online.
Well, it's fascinating. You can take somebody who's absolutely crushing it in different areas of their business and life who's used to being a total badass, used to being the best, confident, they know their place and they know they rock. And then when you start having a conversation about something that's obviously new, such as online branding, like what we do, all of a sudden you see, well, fear, self-doubt, uncertainty, the exact same emotions that any person goes through when they're new to online business and online branding.
Yeah.
But I guess that some of us maybe think, I know I've even thought that, well, if a person's like a successful badass motherfucker, then they'll apply that over to anything new that they do. Now, they certainly can, but it's not automatic. And it was fascinating to have this conversation today and realize that no matter what level somebody's at in the rest of their life, if you're coming into a new world such as this world that, you know, most of us here operate in, you all of a sudden start to go into this mindset of thinking, well, clearly I need to learn the process, right? And I need to learn the method so that I can get results.
Right. Danny just said mogul sisters. I kind of love that. That's a little bit freaking cool.
A little bit badass.
It totally
is.
is.
We're surrounded by luxury brands right now. I feel like we really need to up our sponsorship game. Vain fuckers shit in front of camera.
Oh,
that's an interesting comment.
Maybe you should leave.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think you should definitely
get
off the live stream if you don't like it.
You should definitely have a drink.
Or 10.
Probably not Campari. I think it would suit you.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, no, it is really crazy. It's the same stuff that shows up for people, and it's the same kind of resistance. And I've definitely noticed it when you go out and, you know, when you own one area and you feel really confident around that, but then you jump into something new and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's all the same stuff comes up, and you really have to remind yourself, okay, cool, you know, I'm actually in control of this, right? And I'm in control of these mindsets, and I'm in control of how I create the success, because success is the same across the board when it comes to mindset. Right. And that's why so many people are successful in so many different areas of life, because they know how to tap into that mindset. Like, people often say to us, oh my God, how is it that anything you guys touch turns to gold? Like, what is that? What is your secret? And it's how we're internally wired, but it's easy to fall back into the traps, right?
It's also the gold top.
It's a gold top secretly, and, you know. It's the gold top. Everyone write this down right now. Get a gold top and get a gold bracelet.
All these little things actually count. We might be fucking around, but we're not fucking around. We're deadly
not
serious.
secretly, like, our laptops have got everything's gold right now.
Actually,
it actually is. We look at it.
I don't even do that on purpose.
Sunglasses.
That's
gold
not
on
one
the sunglasses.
we prefer. No, you know what? It's true though. Actually, I mean, that kind of speaks to why I moved my booking to this hotel, because I'm supposed to be staying here next week when I get back. But I'll probably dump that booking now because, yeah. But I was booked at the W in Hollywood, which is an amazing hotel. I've stayed there heaps, and I booked my first 2 nights there, tonight, tomorrow night. Then I got to go out to Austin for a week, and then come back to LA, and then got off the plane today, and I'd forgotten to change the booking over to SLS, where I knew Regan was. Love this hotel, and I was like, I'll lose the booking. I'll just go stay at the W in Hollywood. And then I was in the Uber, and I was
why
like,
are you staying there?
this is not right. And it sounds like kind of irresponsible in the one hand to go, oh, well, I just lost that booking money and I rebooked a new room here. But it's also, as soon as you recognize an area to step into a higher vibe, you're really being negligent if you don't act on that, because one of our beliefs that we share is that every cent you invest is returned to you at least tenfold over as soon as you invest it. So it would be very irresponsible of me, and I know people will go, oh yeah, okay, but it will be very irresponsible of me to not come and stay here.
Very.
Hey,
very,
Vanessa.
especially when I'm here.
Well, yeah, as well. It's like, stupid. Why am I don't even know why I booked it. I think it was habit. Because before I found this hotel, I always and you did as well. We stayed at the W in Hollywood.
Yeah, and then we discovered it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob Machetti. We are grateful for you.
Oh, that's right. It was Rob's referral.
Rob referred
Rob
it
knows
to
what
us.
I like. He's on the ball.
He is.
Okay, so how can you apply, like, if you feel uncertain in your online business or in how you're showing up in your personal brand, or maybe you look at even us or other people who are confident with presenting themselves and essentially showing up in their business, how can you then apply an existing success mindset that you have in an area of your life where you're a total fucking rock star and everybody knows it? What is the mindset that you have there? You know that you're the best, right? You know that you're a rock star. You absolutely believe in yourself. And you're also probably very freaking consistent, even when you don't feel like it. So for people who are, let's say, like rocking it in fitness, then you're consistent whether or not you feel like it, right? Or if you're rocking it in, I don't know.
Well, fitness is a great example,
Fitness
right?
is a great
Because
example.
and that's why so many athletes, you know,
They
do really, really, really well, you know, at a crazy level, and then they go out after kind of they retire, and then they go into business, and it seems to work for a lot of them. I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but generally, Kalatosa joined my live stream too. What are you doing?
She's all over the place.
How are you doing? It's so funny. But yeah, I mean, it's the same mindset of creating success and having that daily discipline and locking on the outcomes and understanding how to interact with other people and getting what you want. Like, it's all that stuff, right? But then you just start applying it through into different areas. And that's the thing, you really need to, I guess, stand guard at the gate of your mind and realize that,
Guard your fucking mind.
yeah, I actually am in control of this. And Liam's on here, he just said hi, and we just caught up earlier, and he's one of my amazing clients, and we had this really cool conversation about, you know what, self-sabotage and talk, right, noise can jump in, and it will jump in at every level. And, you know, it's like what we were talking about today, you know, someone that is worth literally multiple hundreds of millions of dollars, it's like, well, how did they create that? Well, at some point they decided. And even if you're sitting there going, well, I now decide to make millions, well, how far in have you gone, and how fully have you decided, and how much have you actually committed? Because if you're fully in, when the self-talk and sabotage comes up, you don't tolerate that. That's not part of your mindset, right? You simply go, okay, cool, that's a thing, but now I'm going to release that and actually move forward.
Well,
because
you
this
focused
outcome's
on
more
your
important.
higher purpose.
Right,
and
exactly.
Like, you've really got to think, you can't just go, yeah, I'm going to make the decision. That's what I'm going
Right.
to achieve now. I'm going to make that much money. Every different element of your life has to be applied over to this. And one example that always comes to mind for me when I think about this is after my first child was born, like before she came along, my whole identity was wrapped up in my body and being really, really lean and looking a certain way for fitness. And then I lost that identity with pregnancy. And after she was born, I couldn't get back in shape. And I was so obsessive about it. I was totally like, I have to, or my identity's lost, basically. And it was this desperate energy. And then what I realized is I was trying to sort of force the result to come by saying, I have to lose the weight, I have to lose the weight, I have to lose the weight. But I wasn't actually thinking like, I guess, a hot, yummy mummy, right? For want of a better description. And I actually sat there in my journal and I wrote out, how would a really hot, fit, but also happy, confident mum, how would she work out? How would she eat? But I even went down to like, how would she think? And even what would her posture be like when she walked around the city? And every element of the identity. And I realized, well, a woman who's like really fit and hot and in shape is actually not going to be obsessive about their food in the way that I was. And so in business, this happens a lot, right? People go, I have to make this much money. I have to make this much. Kat, exactly what do I need to do to make 20K this month or whatever it is? And it's like, well, firstly, you need to just like
breathe,
loosen up a little
stop breathing.
bit. Have a
Oxygen's important.
You do. You critically do. As soon as you're holding on desperately tightly, like, I'm going to make it work, I decided. That's not how somebody who totally knows that 20K is done or 500K or whatever it is for the month, that's not how they think. They don't think like that. Like, we don't look at our money goals and go, okay, I have to make this much this month. It has to. And then sit here behind the scenes going, oh my God, what can we do to make this money? Oh my God, we have to make it work. It's more like, no, okay, well, if I'm playing at that level, then which hotel am I going to be at? Which fucking room in the hotel?
That's how you show up.
Yeah, what am I going to be wearing? What am I going to be thinking? How am I going to respond in certain situations? Every different element.
Yeah, and it's also your language, like when you were using that example of, I have to lose the weight, I have to lose the weight. Like, there's so many things, right? Firstly, if we break that down, it's like, when you say you have to do something, all of a sudden it puts this energetic pressure on it when everything's actually a choice, right? So I would shift that immediately to, well, I'm choosing to lose the weight. Now, if we go even further, talking about losing something, I mean, why would you want to lose something? Unconsciously, your mind's like, I don't want to lose anything, right? So that doesn't help. Firstly, and then secondly, losing weight, right? Again, what you focus on is going to expand.
You're saying weight, so you're
literally telling your brain to put on more weight if you actually unpick this.
We should launch a fucking fitness program right now. I'll do it right now. I will send you guys the link
and then I can join it.
Fucking now. Okay, we're going to sell a fitness program. No, not really. Not
but
really.
It's the same language. It's the same language. If you're telling yourself you have to make this amount of money, we have to do this, we have to do that, and you know, you've got to realize that when you're typing really fast, I was like, whoa.
I was like, share the stream. I just got really excited. Sup? Okay, I'm going to give Patrick extra cool points for saying sup.
Sup, Patrick.
Yeah.
Sup.
All right. What were we talking about? I got really distracted by that.
Language and how it's important, and if you have to do something rather than choose to, and if you're focusing on losing something rather than attracting something good into your life.
Or like with money, okay, if you're focusing on, I'm not going to have credit card debt anymore.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to be in debt. Well, you are, because you keep saying debt over and fucking over again.
Yeah.
Right? We were so going to lead into, we've just like naturally, we're so good. We're just naturally.
We're so good. Why are we so good?
Because we had like 2 talking points that we were going to cover, and we've just already evolved into the second one without
forgot what they were.
Well, the first one was around being a successful person, applying that mindset over,
Yes.
and method though, and realizing and recognizing just because you're new to something, like you want a next level in this business or in any brand new area of your life that you're just attacking for the first time, that you then need to learn, you really need to apply over the mindsets that have allowed you to create success in other areas of your life, right? There's not a single area where you're successful because you rigidly followed a series of steps. Even for people who achieve certain short-term results, such as body change, by following steps rigidly, what usually happens? They blow the fuck up afterwards.
Yeah.
Or
it's the same with
or they
money.
sabotage,
so
or they develop really bad
and then
habits.
You lose it all. You know, it's the same thing.
Yeah, so you've got to look at what is the mindset when you're genuinely, authentically crushing it in a particular area of your life, and you actually feel good about it, and you're getting the results. Well, the mindset is all around belief, and it's around certainty, and it's identity, isn't it? It's just that, well, duh, I don't need to make an announcement about the fact that I'm this kind of person, because I wouldn't walk around going, hey, guess what, everyone? I've got blue eyes and olive skin. Like,
guess what? I showered today.
Yeah.
You proud? I showered. Like, you wouldn't announce that stuff, right?
Jet lag.
You would not announce that stuff. You wouldn't be like, oh my God, guys, guess what? I'm clean. Like, I'm hygienic. I'm clean. It's the same thing. You wouldn't go, oh my God, guess what? I made this much money. Oh my God, guess what? Like, I lost this much weight. You wouldn't say that if it's actually just a part of who you are.
Yeah, I mean, you might share stuff as a teaching point or a talking point, but you wouldn't be like trying to prove it. Right? Or to yourself, first and foremost, let alone anybody else. And the other thing that we were talking about, just having a conversation about before we put the live stream on, is I really noticed so many people who message me and who talk to me say things like, they'll go into like almost like a dip every month, or however often it is, which is what I'm going to call the freak out zone, which is, oh my fucking God, I'm doing everything, nothing's working. It's the wave your hands around in the air and freak out zone. And then generally after that, they'll flip it around and all of a sudden break through, usually in a big way. And one of the things that I was saying to a client earlier tonight, and then we were talking about it, is, imagine, like, you crushed it last month. Imagine what you, let's be honest, left on the table because you spent like over a third of the month going, oh my God, I'm doing everything and nothing's not working. Right? So this again is a mindset of, well, for somebody to whom it's completely fucking automated to make $100K, $500K, $1 million a month, they're not having a little meltdown for 10 days out of the month, or even 2 days going, oh my God, I'm trying everything. The universe hates me.
They have no tolerance for that.
Working.
No tolerance for that. It's not part of
it wouldn't even occur to you, would you? Like, if you totally see yourself as a fit person, you don't have a meltdown halfway through the month going, oh my God, maybe I'm not really a fit person. Maybe I can't be a fit person. Maybe the universe won't let me. Right?
Maybe the moon's not in the right alignment to me.
I did everything and it didn't work. Just saying.
Just saying. We've got lots of people in here. You guys are awesome. You guys can ask us any questions as well around becoming that version of you and stepping into a higher level of success.
How much have we fucking up-leveled this year?
A reasonable amount.
Enough?
It's never enough.
Never enough.
Never enough. Never done.
Always pushing,
Adam.
never done.
Callie.
But we've been having up-level and fame and success and mindset conversations all year. At least once a week we have a big long conversation on the phone, but we talk back and forth on Facebook, or we just message back and forth all day, every day. There's a reasonable amount of weird pictures that go into those messages. But the thing that, like, if you were to look back through all of our conversations from the year, 95% of what you're going to see is one of us saying, this is what I'm creating, this is what I'm calling in, and there's such a small amount of conversation around it. You might even be surprised to realize this, but largely if I say, oh my God, this is what I want to do, this is my next level, this is what I'm aiming towards, pretty much all I'm going to get back from Regan is, cool, it's done, right? And then we'll move on to the next thing. There's not like, oh, okay, wow, well, Kat, that's a really big goal, are you sure that you're ready for that, and what do you
oh my God, I can't even imagine.
What are you going to... But it's not even like, oh, but what are you going to put into place to make that happen? Or
right, no.
There's never...
What's your strategy?
Right, never once has either of us asked, what are you going to do to create that? Or what did you do to achieve that?
No.
It's always, here's my next level massive goal. And then it's like...
Great.
Emojis basically to affirm that it's done, and then the word cool, it's done, so what else is happening? And it's basically just what else, what next? And that's something that you can, whether or not you have somebody or mentor person or friend person who you're having these conversations with, you got to look at what's the conversation in your own head as well. And when you set your big goals and you say to yourself, I want this big thing, and it's maybe a little scary or a little overwhelming, are you then sitting there going, well, shit, I need to figure out the 149 bullet point strategy? Or are you going, cool, this is what I've decided, so therefore it's done, so therefore how do I need to act accordingly to just be that person who's already there?
And like that bounce back that we have, like that's what we were talking about, that's what we want to create in LA. Did I just say that?
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I said that's what we want to create in LA.
We are in LA. The other LA.
Because I'm like, yeah.
That's not a big reveal. We're in LA. I'm pretty sure we already called the stream Beverly Hills Lux. I thought we were going to talk about that. No, we weren't going to talk about that.
We weren't going to talk about that, but I just wanted to say it. So, whatever. Don't tell them about LA. It's fine. No problem. No problem. We're not in LA. We were lying. We were completely lying. Stop drinking.
I was just trying to pose meaningfully with the drink.
You posed meaningfully. No, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say anything. No one's in LA. Nothing. No up level. No success. No mindset. Nothing.
No mansion.
No mansion. Nothing.
All right then. Moving along. What
Done.
next?
Questions. What questions do you guys have around shifting, around calling in that high level of identity, around stepping into that version of you, around dealing with the bullshit and moving past that?
Do you know what one of the biggest things is? It's when you can see where you want to go.
Talk about it. Later.
There never was an LA.
There was no LA. No one's in LA right now.
There is no LA.
There is no LA.
There was
LA
never
doesn't
an LA.
exist. Your external
It's in
reality
your
isn't
mind.
real, guys. It's all just a figment of your imagination.
It's all
right?
just, it's created in your own mind.
Mm-hmm. It's all an illusion.
It is.
What's the go with LA?
But if you were to be in LA...
No.
Okay, here, I'm going to tell you. I am going to straight up tell you the single piece of advice.
Oh.
I like this pen to wave on. That most changed my life.
That's a pretty big call.
There could be 3 that fit that category.
Oh, there's 3. We've gone from 1 to 3.
Well, I can think of 2. Okay, I'll tell you the first one and get it out of the way, honestly, because that's more of a funny one. But the second one is just, you got to get this. Well, actually, they're both important. The first one was when I backed out on a big goal. And I told a friend about it who was a brand new friend who I just met. I'm going to tell this story.
Was it me?
There was no LA, Matisse. No need to be confused. There is no LA.
Everyone's writing LA. LA.
There's nothing happening in LA.
LA doesn't exist.
No, nothing later this year. No. It's not even locked in. No, maybe. Okay, so life-changing piece of advice that I got from who was a brand new friend at the time. I think I'd met him only like the week before, and I'd shared with him a big goal that I had, which was actually to perform in a national yoga competition, which I was obsessive about at the time. And then I freaked out about the competition because everybody else in it was a teacher and I didn't feel up to that level. And I ran into this guy at the gym and he's like, how's the preparation going? And I said, no, I've decided I'm not ready for it. I'm going to prepare more for next year. And I'd literally met this guy, I think, twice before for like 5 minutes. He was a brand new personal trainer working with me on my same team, right? So he was a new member of the team. And he turns to me and he goes, what a fucking pussy. And I was just like, excuse me? This is about 8 years ago. This is before I used to curse and swear like I do now.
You don't curse?
No.
Never.
Okay, good. That piece of advice honestly changed my life. I did the competition because I was like, screw you, motherfucker. And I did it and I came 10th. And I know some people don't like that expression or the aggressiveness of it, but I'm just going to say, where are you being a freaking pussy in your life? Or whatever other word you prefer to insert in there if you want to get dramatic about it.
Ass kicking from Cat coming your way.
Ooh, big game thinkers. All right. Hey, Mina, we were just talking about you and your badassery beforehand.
Hey, Mina.
I'm going to see Mina next week. So, because we were talking about how this is where you and I met at this hotel. So, okay, but here's the big one that I wanted to say. I was in a room, this would have been 3 or 4 years ago, and I was doing around $1 million already in my business, I think at the time, but I was in a room where everybody was definitely way higher level than me. And what they did in this room is they called up maybe the 8 people who were crushing it the most in their online business. And they each had to share what is it that helped them to elevate from doing $1 million to doing multiple millions. Now, not a single one of these people shared anything to do with strategy, right? Which is just like, think about that. Not one little ounce of strategy was shared in that room. Yeah. But the thing that stood out for me the most, and that I have really tried to live by ever since, and that I want to pass on now, is this one guy said, I just started to think about if I were already there, how would I be acting? And he used the expression acting from that place. Right. And I use that expression a lot. You've probably heard me use that. And that's, yeah, that has been life-changing for me, because anytime I'm in a mode of like, oh, I'm not sure about this, or I'm second guessing myself, or, you know, thinking about the strategy or the process, I'll just stop myself, or a client if need be. Sent a few verbal messages out over my Facebook client messages just before this live stream, actually, to this effect, which is essentially, well, if you're already there, if you're acting from that place, how would you be acting right now? What would you be doing? Who would your friends be? Where would you be staying? What would you be thinking? What would you be wearing? How would you even be carrying yourself? What else? And honestly, if you ask yourself this,
talking, hanging out with, staying,
sleeping,
wearing, everything,
like freaking
breathing,
everything. And you cannot ask yourself these questions too much. A lot of people seem to think that mindset work is something to do when you have like a nice little spare relaxed hour on a Sunday or something, and you go down to a cafe on a Sunday with your journal.
Right.
No.
Take a photo, put it on Instagram.
Well, I do that. But I'm literally
you need
doing
to do more, right? And something I said to a private client the other day, she's like, you know what? I'm doing like an hour mindset work every single day. Nothing's moving. Right. And I was
25,
like,
well, overlap that shit.
Right. I was like, what about the other 23 hours?
Yeah.
What's going on there? And then it kind of, she stopped and she was silent. She's like, oh. I was like, you know what? You know, sure, if you're doing mindset work for an hour, you're going to get into this energy, you're going to step into becoming that version, you're going to tap into, you know, different frequencies that are ultimately going to make you probably feel freaking amazing, to be honest. You can be like, I've got this. You know what? I'm a manifestor. I'm a millionaire. Whatever you're telling yourself, right, in that moment. But then what's interesting is people close the journal, or they open their eyes, or they do whatever they do, and they're like, okay, I've got to start my day now. All of a sudden, their frequency stops, and then they get dragged back into their quote-unquote reality, and they start reacting from that old version of their self, not the one that they've been calling in, right? So if it's money stuff, they'll be like, oh yeah, I received, you know, 50K this month, 250K this month, done, boom, boom, boom. They're like, yes. And then they go out and they're in the kitchen, they're like, oh, I just got a bill, I need to pay this, like, oh my God.
Right, how can I keep up? Yeah.
Right, and you can't attract something in your life that you're not, right? And that's why you have to be it first before you can actually receive it externally. So if you tap into the energy of scarcity and lack and oh, I'm not enough and bills and this and that, rah, 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 you're just going to have more of that show up. It's almost like that hour, you just wasted.
You just wasted your time.
Right.
I mean, if you're an action taker and you're disciplined and you know that you are going to follow through, you're still going to get results. Totally, right? But as I said to a client on message earlier tonight, how much of last month did you waste? And we can all ask ourselves that question. I know I keep asking myself these sort of questions as well, because we're not evolved to perfection, right? Like, you know, we're teaching what we have learned through experience. We didn't learn it in a fucking book. We learned it because eventually you're like, well, shit, I think I would just like to make money all the time from flowing with ease.
Right.
And not have this little period where I'm going, oh, I'm in drama, or I'm in meltdown, or I'm in freak out mode. And, you know, we hold each other accountable to that. And obviously we hold our clients accountable to that as well. And I would say that's probably one of the biggest things, is just getting you back on path and back into that high vibe energy state. And that's why it is so critical to surround yourself, obviously, with the right people and the right mentors, but it's also all this other stuff. Like, we, you know, whenever we live stream together or even apart, we play up the luxury stuff and the environment and all of that, but it is deadly fucking serious, right?
Oh, it's serious.
If you put yourself in the wrong environment, even if it's like ordering the wrong fucking dish off the menu, that shit impacts you. It's always about what identity do you want to play from? Where are you at?
That's the biggest thing. I think people get stuck in, you know, I want to shift my identity, so I have to go and do these big, crazy things. Like, oh my God, I have to leave the country. I have to, like, do something extravagant, show the world. And yes, you can do that. But honestly, what's more important is the simple things, right? It's deciding, okay, do I choose an Uber, whatever the lower one's called, or do I choose an Uber Black?
Yes.
Right? Which is maybe like $4 difference. You'll be surprised how many people go, oh, well, I'm going to do the one that's cheaper to save the money. Right. Yeah, get there going, I want to be rich and successful. Well, what is that version of you choose? If it chooses the Uber Black, there's going to be a whole $4 or $5 more to get you to where you want to go, right? You go into the supermarket and you're like, the blueberries are $8, the strawberries are $3. I'll take the strawberries. Really? Yes. Is that going to make a difference? You wanted the blueberries. Get the blueberries.
Do you know what?
Right?
It will make a difference.
It will make a difference.
You a fucking fortune.
It will cost you so much.
And maybe
it's
even
the
your
little
destiny.
things. It's the tiny little things. It's those constant daily choices that you actually need to tap into. Hi. Whoa. Cat's falling for me.
Yeah. Always. And you've just got to keep pushing that comfort zone all of the time, right? I can tell you that, like, I remember the first time I spent the money to take a flight business class instead of economy or coach, whatever you want to call it, and it was very much like a big deal, and it was like very uncomfortable, and it was also exciting.
Felt like I didn't belong, to be honest.
Yeah, felt like I didn't belong. Felt like people were going to look at me and be like, "What do you think you're doing here?" And then I actually went back to economy for a while after that. I just felt like this is silly. Like, there's, you know, kids and everything. It was adding up to so much money for the flights. I just thought that's, you know, it's silly. And now, like, not so long ago, we've had the conversation about how Regan took, how long was that flight? Don't be embarrassed. Practice what you fucking preach, girl.
20 minutes up and down.
20-minute total for the flight, not even in the air. I don't know what that plane flew from fucking the SLS hotel to Chanel on Rodeo Drive or something. And she flew first class. Right?
And there was no one else in there, and I was like, why is there no one else?
She didn't know it was 20 minutes.
I didn't know it was 20 minutes.
Still, no, but even still, like, you know, it really hasn't been that long for either of us where when we would catch, let's say, a 2 or a 3 hour flight, that we would definitely get the economy or the coach, because our identity at the time was, well, yeah, I want to up level and I want to be able to get to that next stage, but it's silly to spend it on that, right?
That's a waste.
Silly.
Yeah, that's not worth it.
Or that would have been like me earlier today, which I nearly did, which was it's silly to lose the money at the hotel I already paid for, so I'll just go there, which is the mindset that I had initially. And then thankfully I realized, and I was like,
she got back into her zen. She realized who she was.
That's fucking silly and irresponsible. And now, like, so many things in our lives that we just not take for granted, is not the right word, but it's just, there's no conversation around what class of flight we're going to fly in. Or on the plane just now coming over from Australia, I met one of the general managers of one of the NBA team, and he was sitting with me, and we had a, you know, big conversation tonight about all sorts of cool things in business and life. And I was saying which hotel I'm staying at here, or I mentioned the SLS and different hotels that I like, and he was like, wow, damn, you've got great taste in hotels. And I was kind of like, well, yeah, I travel a lot and stuff, but really what I was thinking in my mind afterwards when I thought about it was like, well, there's no way. Like, we have elevated so much to the point where it's literally not possible for us to stay in a lower class place or be
just
anywhere.
add though, because there's probably people watching this going, oh yeah, but it's easy for you guys, whatever, look what you've created. You've got to understand that we were doing this before.
Yeah, you're getting it the other way around.
It's complete. We started this before we were ready. Like, if you're like in the mindset of, oh, you know, I'm going to start flying business once I've made the money, once I've saved it all. Like, honestly, you have to jump first, right? You have to push yourself constantly. And we do that. Every single week when we talk, we're like, all right, what are we committing to? What are we investing in through our lives, through mentors, through education, through lifestyle, through everything in order to push us? Like, and we do that, you know, massively, way before we're ready, because we know that that's what's going to elevate our mindset to shift to that next level. We know that if we go, okay, cool, well, we want to do all this stuff because that's what fits this higher identity. So now I'll just like get ready and like try and save and prepare and like, and then I'll hire that mentor. Doesn't work. You will never hire that mentor.
No, you will never get there
because you need to shift that.
You're laying it all on the line.
You have to.
And that's, you're just stretching it all the time, right? It doesn't mean you have to go and get a new credit card loan for $1 million or something. Maybe you should. But you just constantly stretching,
we're not giving you
constantly Never. Just leaving my example.
Right.
You're just constantly pushing that next level outside of your comfort zone. And I guess maybe there's a feeling of like, oh, one day I'm going to be there and I can relax. Do you know what? No, we are never there. We are constantly spending huge amounts of money on next level things where we get nervous about it.
Yeah.
For, you know, we get nervous, we feel all that same stuff, and then we follow the fuck through because we've really learned over and over again. So just understand that there's never going to be a point where you're finished stepping outside of your comfort zone and you can just breathe easy and be like, you know, now I'm going to be good. Mina says, that's me. I committed to Kat when I had $17 in my account. and they made 10K in the first month.
Always happens.
Absolutely.
It
And
always
like,
happens.
Mina and I are going to live stream on this together next week, because this woman fucking stepped up like pretty much I've never seen, as far as just literally
cool.
did everything that I said. Yeah.
And Rosa says getting into the space of receiving more. Yeah, look, it definitely is receiving more, but it's actually showing up, right? And actually pushing yourself first so that you have the ability to receive. You know, you can't receive in your life unless you create space for it. If there's nowhere to receive, then there's no receiving to be done, right? So you've got to create that space by stepping into that version first.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's an energetic principle as well. If you want to receive, then you have to be willing to give, and you have to be in a state of expansion.
Right.
So you can't be like,
It's a flow.
I'm ready to receive, I'm just going to hold on to my pennies and wait till I receive more money.
Doesn't work.
I mean, that's like biblical stuff, right? Like, I love my Bible analogies because I grew up with them, and they apply so much over to business and life. And there's the analogy of the mother who's like a widow, who only had a few pennies left, and that was all she had for food and everything, but she gave all of the money to the church at the time. So that's faith, right? She gave everything away, and then she was blessed with abundance in return. That applies in business so much. People try to hold on tightly. I can't invest in that mentor, or I'll stay at the lower class hotel, or I'll give myself the lower class experience, or I'll whatever it might be. And it's like, I get it, I understand it, because I know what that feels like, but you're keeping yourself bound, and you have to operate from faith. You have to act from where you want to be. If you want to be over there, you have to act with faith that if you let go of everything that you're allowing to basically have a hold over you, that you are going to be taken care of. And I'm not saying that's not scary. It is fucking scary. And that's probably why so few people get to succeed to a really high level, because they're not actually willing to lay themselves on the line.
Yeah, and look, you have to also really stand guard in front of your mind when you do this stuff, because there's absolutely no point going, all right, cool, I'm going to push myself, let's use travel because it's an easy example because it's broken down, right? So you can say, okay, I'm going to push myself, I'm going to do business class before I'm ready, and you book it and pay for it. And then if you're sitting in that seat that whole time, freaking out and like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done this, holy shit, so much money, this is so not worth, like, if you're doing that, that's not going to actually get you the result. That's not going to up-level you, even though you physically do it. So the whole time is when you step into something, you need to, when those thoughts creep in, because trust me, they will. I'm not saying they won't. They absolutely will. And guess what? As you get bigger, they get louder, right? Yeah. So you need to actually catch that and go, do you know what? Shut up. I got this, right? This is who I am. This is what I deserve. This is what I choose. There is more coming to me, right? And you need to really catch yourself on that every single time. You know, I recently got this house in LA. We're not telling about LA, but whatever. Secret LA, right? Secret mansion in LA. Banned from the live stream. Let me in the live stream. But it was like a massive up level, and I wrote about it in one of my private client groups, and I was like, you know, it happened, and then I was like, oh man, and all these thoughts crept in of like, oh my gosh, is this the right investment? What am I doing? Rah, rah, like all this kind of stuff. And I had to really catch that and go, do you know what? Stop. Like, freaking stop. Like, this is who you are. This is what you choose. Why are you booking flights? Are you
I'm trying to upgrade to first class because I couldn't get the first class.
She's booking flights. I'm trying to.
Well, here's a live example, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't get fucking first class because they didn't have any seats open when I booked my flight to get to Texas on Wednesday.
Are they open now?
Usually they hide the first class ones, and then you have to buy economy, and then you upgrade after. So that's what I'm doing. Shit. Because I practice what I fucking preach.
Be like Kat.
Be like Kat. What were you not saying about LA? You didn't say anything, did you?
No.
She didn't say anything,
No,
did she?
LA, nothing exists. Nothing's real. It's all
I like
an illusion.
this. It's a question though. Hannah says, thoughts on taking middle steps between where you are and where you want to level up to?
Jump.
You have to jump. You have to leap from faith.
There's no middle.
Yeah. Here's how I do it. It's a knowledge inside of me, and sometimes I'm like, fucking hell, because here's what I mean, right? Let's say an opportunity comes my way, whether it's a mentoring opportunity or some other form of business investment, or it's something in personal life. I feel that nudge inside of me. I just feel like I'm meant to do that, right? I'm meant to buy that program or work with that person, or I am supposed to be in that seed, or whatever it might be. And I've had many times, even to this day, because I continue to take bigger and bigger risks, right?
Yeah.
Many times where my first reaction is like, fuck, I don't feel ready for that, and I've assigned that money elsewhere, and I don't think I can do that. Like, I genuinely don't think I can. But my personal rule through experience is, if I feel that nudge, if I feel the call, I have to fucking answer it. If you hear the call, you fucking answer the call. So I just have a rule that I have to, and so I will say yes no matter what the fucking cost. It doesn't matter. Even today I had a call relevant to something that's probably going to be about a $300,000 investment, and it was that feeling of like, I'm so not ready for that right now. I've got like 45 million other things going on. But I got on that phone knowing that no matter what the final price point is, I know that I have to say yes, because I've just learned too many times in the past, when you say no to that call from within, when you say no to working with that person, going to that event, having that experience, up-leveling into that opportunity, you're not only obviously missing out on the opportunity, but the opportunity cost of stepping into a higher level of your own identity is absolutely tragic, basically, right? You have no freaking clue what you're doing to yourself. So it's always say yes, figure it the fuck out afterwards. And that, we live and breathe by that, right? We do not hang around in the zone that we're at the moment. We're continually saying yes to the next zone, the next zone, the next zone. Regan just said yes to something that's massive. I'm saying yes to something that's massive. There's no way we could have got to here if we didn't keep doing that along the way.
It's the same mindset regardless of what's going on externally. There's a question there from Amy. I can't see it, I don't think.
She says, do you have a care plan for yourself in regards to monthly hormones?
Emotional.
Give me the comparison. That's the care plan. Staying hydrated, working out, evening primrose, anything to add to that? This seems to stop me in my chat once a month. Okay. Honestly, I mean, this is like a little random, I guess, but I know for me, when I wasn't eating enough protein and good fats in my diet, I really struggled with that time of the month. And when I increased my proteins and good fats, I never struggled since, which has been over 10 years now. I don't even know when my period's coming. It just arrives like a friendly stranger.
Thanks for those details.
I always say you can ask anything. I don't say I'll answer knowledgeably about it. I'm just telling you. No, I don't know.
It's so funny.
Okay, this is not far-fetched, right? It sounds like I'm grasping at straws here, but it's true. The more you're in alignment and on purpose, the more everything takes care of itself. Like, I used to struggle with so many things to do with stress and anxiety and physical disorders and stuff that a lot of people would, probably nod their heads to, or insomnia, various different maladies. And the more I'm in alignment and on purpose, I don't know, like, it's hard for me to answer that question because I'm like, I'm too busy doing what I'm doing to really notice.
No, I'm with you on that. And I think when you're coming from a place of potential confusion or scarcity or stress, like, I mean, that has a physical effect on your body. I mean, you do. I personally believe you store more fat, and I personally believe that it's harder to get lean and that you feel more tired. So it does really all come back to alignment, to be honest. I mean, obviously, you want to make good choices and put good stuff in, and like, I'm all about cleansing and fasting and all of that. I mean, we both are. So, there's definitely physical things that we do, but ultimately, and I feel it if I'm even slightly out of alignment now. Like, I'm really conscious to that. If I'm even a little bit out of whack, I'll feel a little bit more tired, and then that's a sign for me to regroup and go, okay, cool, like, what have I said yes to which maybe isn't in total alignment, which I need to adjust, or what am I not acknowledging and saying yes to, which I need to call into my life. And for me, it's just, I guess I listen to my body. Your body's a good sign of what's going on. If your body's tired and sore and stressed, like, generally there's something up externally.
Yeah, your hormones are absolutely a reflection of your mindset. Without, I mean, like, that's a whole conversation, right?
That's like another whole life.
Everything you're feeling physically, and every part of your physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all your different four bodies, they're all interconnected, and everything begins with alignment and with purpose. Yeah. Of course, you still have to, be fucking smart with your nutrition, etc. But it's not as, like, I mean, of course, there's science to all of those different things, but I've really seen, like, I can do everything perfectly in nutrition, training and stuff, and still feel like shit if I'm not in alignment and on purpose. On the other hand, when I'm in alignment and on purpose and pressing play, as I would say, then I can kind of get away with a lot more. It's maybe not the best expression to use, but you know what I mean.
Can I just say as well, like, I think especially for high achievers, because I know there's a lot of them on these live streams right now, we can kind of get a little bit obsessed, just a little bit, about trying to call in some certain type of outcome, right? Like, a little bit obsessed. Right, so just me. Okay, none of you guys are obsessed, just me. All right, so if it was just me that was obsessed and I was calling in one type of outcome, what can happen is that ultimately, we're really good at manifesting. You've manifested a lot in your life, or everything you have in your life right now, you've manifested, good and bad, right? So you've called it all in to some degree. So if you really look at that, if you focus just on one thing, like, for example, if you're just like the money, like, daily, you'll manifest it. Like, it's no doubt, it's done. Like, you'll call it in, right? It's just a matter of time and space catching up. But here's the thing, if you don't take a holistic approach to actually what you want, you'll receive the money, but at what cost, right? You might completely blow out. I've seen this happen. I've seen people call in the money, and all of a sudden they're like 10 times bigger than they were when they started. It's like, dude, what's going on with your health? Like, that's not okay. I mean, and they're like, oh my God, yeah, I've got to get on top of my health now. They're like, I've just been so busy, I didn't think about it. And I'm like, exactly, you didn't think about it, right? So if you, like, we are both very intentional around going, okay, cool, you know, you've got to get clear on locking in every single area and going, cool, you know, I want to create the success, but at the same time, I want it to look like this, and I am going to be fit, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to be lean, I'm going to have, you know, amazing relationships with my family. You've got to be clear on that stuff, because whatever you ask for, you will manifest, right?
Do you think it's also essentially some kind of lack or scarcity mindset coming through, which says that I can't have this and then also have that, that if I'm going to go up in this area, that something else has to go down as a result of that?
Yeah, absolutely, because
like a lot of people will think health will suffer when they focus on business, for example.
We're told, you know, you can have it all, but not at once, right? Even, I mean, to be honest, Oprah quotes that. She says, you can have it all in your life, but not all at once. It's like, hang on. No, you can. Yeah, you absolutely can, if you choose to, right? Because if you're not conscious around it, then, you know, you're leaving it up to fate and choice, and whatever you put focus on will expand, and that's what you'll receive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really a mindset and a choice that you want to lock in, which is that, well, here are all the things that are important to me. These are the things that I value. And therefore, well, I'm just, like, you don't even have to make a big deal of it. It's not like, oh, I'm going to force them all to work. I'm going to force all of these areas to have to work for me. It's basically just going, well, I'm just not going to accept anything else, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want. This is what I choose. And actually each thing supports each other thing. And that's why when you meet successful people, they typically have high amount of success in multiple different areas across their life. And of course, they're always growing and improving and learning, as we all are. Nobody's, you know, elevated to some sort of state where they're just done with growth. But they,
I'm out.
You know, there's a lot of crossover there. There's a lot of crossover there. Oh, battery.
Oh, no.
Cool.
Suzette, hey Suzette.
Hey,
awesome
Suzette.
to see you.
Taking the
Loving
holistic
approach. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. So, okay. All right. So where do you know that you're holding yourself back from the things that we've talked about? That's a thinking question that you can share with us if you like, or you can journal on it for yourself, which is, where are you making it into more of a big deal? Like, where are you wasting a lot of time and energy maybe thinking about what you need to do in order to solve a problem or in order to get to the next level, when actually what you could be doing is just locking in the outcome and then acting as though you are already that person in that place.
Yeah, it really is that simple. I feel like people complicate it, and it's like, let's just bring it back to basics. And that's what we're talking about, right? How successful people can go and create success in all these different areas if they realize it's actually all the same fundamentals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just applying that mindset across.
Yeah.
Cool. So what were we not going to say?
We weren't going to say anything about LA.
No, don't message us
LA
about it.
what?
I'm just going to let you know.
Don't
message us about LA.
No. LA is
no
all
questions.
an illusion.
Don't even think about it.
It's so funny. It's like before, it was like, no, enough.
It's going to be one of our signature moves now.
You trapping me and being like, no, I want to talk about it.
Or what was the Snapchat one today?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
snap.
How was that snap? It's like a cat claw.
No, because I was anti-Snapchat at that time, so I was going, get out,
at
Snapchat.
lunch today.
Snap.
She was losing her shit a little bit about how much I Snapchat.
I was like, what's up with that? It's like 40 times a day. Like, do you not sleep anymore?
I'm snapping like 50 or 60 times a day.
Ridiculous.
I'm snap happy. It's
Ridiculous.
so easy. There's no such thing as too much snapping. There's no such thing. Get over it. There's no such thing as too much content.
Snap.
I don't even think about it. I snapped this outfit already like 18 times. I just
don't. I need like a reminder going, snap now.
I thought I needed that. I'm sorry, but you need a mindset shift, not a method. Can we just workshop this live as a community for Regan? Can we all just come together?
Snapchat.
You don't need a method.
I used to like it.
You don't need a Snapchat process. You just need a mindset shift. Honestly, it sounds silly. This is fucking important. I'm hustling on Snapchat funnels all the way. But it was a mindset shift. I was like that. That's how a lot of you guys are around showing up on Facebook. Let's be honest. Who's feeling like, it's too hard to live stream all the time, or to post videos, or to post blogs and bigger pieces of content. It's a mindset shift. If you see it as part of your identity to Snapchat all day long, feel free to give me something back. It doesn't have to be all about workshopping your shit.
I'm like the angry client. They're like,
We
whatever.
have exercise to Snapchat.
So
demons.
LA.
There's nothing happening in
Nothing.
LA later this year.
No, nothing in LA.
And if there were, it'd only be for like 2 people anyway.
Just a
Maybe.
couple of people. Nothing powerful. Nothing like a
I don't know anything
2-day
about it.
event with really high level impact
I
creation.
honestly couldn't tell you any of the details.
I wish
because we
wish
haven't
someone
actually
was-
got any details.
I wish someone was running something like that. Something that was really powerful, that was all about high level empire creation and automation and scaling and calling in high levels of income. Like, I wish 2 people would do that.
I would go to that.
2 crazy women. I wish they would
In
do
an
that,
amazing
actually.
house.
In an amazing house, in a mansion in Hollywood. Like, I wish that was a thing.
I'd be down.
You'd be
With
down.
a lot
I'd be
of
down
gold.
too.
A lot of gold stuff.
Give us a yes on here if you'd be down.
Just an idea.
Just
Don't
an
get
idea.
carried-
No,
don't
we
get
just
carried
we
away.
just wish someone would do that,
Don't get
right?
carried away with that shit.
Snap, snap, snap.
Can I just... That's not snapping. Why is that... It's like cat cawing. Why is that a snap gesture?
Snap, snap, snap.
I don't get it. I totally don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on here.
So Bev just said your bronze is perfectly blended. Amazing.
I have
Oh,
highlighter
we've
on
got
as
some
well.
yeses coming through. It's just
Highlighting
an
is
idea,
dope.
guys. It's, you know what? It's just a deep desire that I wish someone would put out
I
there.
wish somebody would do
I
that.
wish 2 people would do this. I wish it would be 2
You
days.
can message us with some ideas for what you think.
I think you should send us a message
what
if
you
you're
think.
like,
'Cause
you
we
know
have
what?
no fucking
I
clue.
wish someone would do that too. I really wish there would be a high level freaking 2-day event in Hollywood in a mansion where you get to hang out and
Yeah.
really see the back end of, 2 multiple 7-figure businesses and understand how that works.
bad
Regardless
idea.
of where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're starting out or super high level. If you know that you want to accelerate, I wish someone would do that. Someone should do that.
I guess I'd consider going.
I would go. I mean, I would show up.
I mean, I'd probably run it.
I mean, I might run it
think
too.
we could
Maybe
just run
we
it
could run it
together.
together. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just an idea.
I don't
Send
know
us a
who's
message.
planning on doing that, but I think we should take it
Right.
up.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
we should because I don't think anyone else is doing it. So if you know you're meant to be
What
there,
do you
send
guys
us a
think?
message.
But just,
Just
you
an
know,
idea.
you might need to tell us, what that should look like.
You might need to tell us why you should be
We
there
don't have
as
any
well.
details.
No
We're
details.
just hanging out.
Just an
Our
idea.
dinner's getting cold over there. Your
We should go
mushrooms.
eat. We should go eat my mushrooms.
So I ordered a New York sirloin steak with a side of vegetables. She ordered mushrooms.
I love
That's it.
mushrooms.
I'm not saying like a mushroom risotto. No, just mushrooms.
I love mushrooms. All
a
right?
side of mushrooms.
You like steak? I like mushrooms.
So I've got like a steak and vegetables. She has mushrooms.
Leave my mushrooms. Like, I'm gonna start eating. And she's like, "Can I have a mushroom?" I'm like, no. You just publicly
Actually,
outed
I think
them.
it's like the one thing we don't have in common. I don't like mushrooms.
Well, I don't eat steak, so there you go. You eat your food, I'll eat mine, but don't insult my food in the
It's mushrooms
process.
for dinner. Have some more campfire.
Hey Jane, how are you? Awesome to have
We've
you
got
on.
so many cool people on tonight.
Yeah, super cool people.
Love it.
It's awesome. Yes, I'm in Beverly Hills. Where are you? Are you here? Where are you? Tell me where you are. That is super cool. Alright, so if you think our crazy idea about hanging out in Hollywood is a super freaking cool idea, you should tell us that. Send us a message, either of us, both of us, and tell us why you should be there. And then maybe we could find two crazy people to run it. Maybe. Can't promise anything, but we can do our best.
I don't know.
Well, I'll convince her that we can do our
My
best.
mind is just like a
Just blank.
Snapchatable blank slate.
Snap.
We should Snapchat. Oh, I don't have a spare phone on me. I'm so used to having my team around me with all my other phones. I nearly just turned around and said, can somebody snap this?
It's so
There's
funny.
nobody else here.
Alright, I think we should go and eat our food.
Yeah, let's go eat.
done.
That was awesome fun.
Super cool hanging out with you
Leave
guys.
a comment, get some fucking accountability, comment with what you are going to action as a result of what we shared, and
Yes.
just, if you insist on messaging us about LA, say
Let
something
us
funny.
know. If you know you need to be in Hollywood, let us know, and maybe we can make something happen. Maybe. No promises.
Don't forget,
No promises.
life is now. Press fucking play, and
Of course, you absolutely can have it all at once. You guys are awesome. Ciao.